And brother said the man, bro. It is your boy Chris Lovers over here at the Matchmaker channel. You already know we are paired up with Fresh and Fit or Fresh Match, and now we are the Castle Club. We are the Brotherhood of Fresh and Fit, Miami. This is said. I'm Chris Lovers, man. We're about to talk about all the problems that are going on in the world of matchmaking. We are finding out the issues about demoralization. We are discussing and describing love, and we are finding solutions to bring to you people in this world today. My brother, go ahead and give him a quick introduction and start breaking through these points. I already know you got a million things in your mind. I probably don't even have to ask you too much. Go ahead, man. Take the wheel.
What's going on, man? My name is Sed. I'm up here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm an HVAC technician. I'll be 30 this year. Um, yeah, man. Like I said before, master, jack of all trades, master of none. Dabble a little bit in the real estate. Got my feet wet with that. Um, yeah, man. That's pretty much it.
All right, my brother. So if you didn't, or if you did get a chance to watch the video on demoralization, did you, or did you at least like have like a point about it? Because if not, I'll just go ahead and like
Yeah,
break
no,
that
I
down
haven't,
for you.
I haven't checked it out yet.
All right, so here's what it is, right? And this video is a pretty common video when you get into like the Alex Jones conspiracy world. Even one of the documentaries Myron wanted us to watch has that same clip in it. And what happens is that this guy from Russia, he talks to you about how you infiltrate the country and you break down over generations of people and students, how you demoralize them. And the point of demoralization is that you could take a human being and demoralize them so much with bullshit that even if you were to put the truth in their face, they wouldn't be able to recognize the truth because
Mm.
they're beaten down so low. So when I was talking to Brother Des Moines just now, we were identifying what it's like to be an average man. And it seems that at such a normal point, as you're young and you're going into school, that normal men are beaten into having a low self-esteem. And this low self-esteem and this low morale and this low sense of self-worth, and while these money institutions are paying you little bits of pay packages and dripping just to keep you alive, while women are being extraordinarily put on a pedestal, gliding around through life, being paid a lot more in every endeavor. And I'll tell you this from personal experience. I've worked in corporations, and the homosexuals and the LGBTQ is also being paid more at a much higher level. For an average man, they are fucking lost. Because remember, we've achieved a red pill state of mind, but most men are in a blue pill state of thinking. So when it comes to demoralization, the first thing that I'll just ask you is, have you seen it? Are you aware of it? Do you know anyone in your life going through it? And how is that affecting you or your country whatsoever?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen it. I'm a very big believer in like, you know, just like the Matrix movie. You know what I mean? You can break people down to a point where once you start telling them the truth, it doesn't even matter. Just like you said, I see it every day. All the stuff that's going on with our country right now. Um, just that day to day, day to day news stories, like the things that you see every day here. It's crazy. I mean, you know, at one point, at one point we were able to, if we see something wrong, we were able to point it out and it gets fixed immediately, right? Nowadays, it's like you see something wrong, and if you speak up about it, they try to knock you down, like, "Oh, you're not supposed to say that," or "You shouldn't feel that way. You're wrong for feeling that way." And they protecting, like, they would protect, they would protect something that's just not moral. You know what I mean? Not morally right. It's the things that are wrong with this country are starting to be protected, and you see that every day.
And then it's almost like the way that you're talking about when you can't talk, when you can't use the tongue, it's an attack on the mind. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
a lot of these psychological operations to silence the mind. And mental attacks it always comes back like for you it's Islam, for me it's the Bible. So take what I change and interchange it for you, right? It's always like the devil is attacking the mind because that is a beautiful thing that God created. So it's almost like you're dealing with this spiritual warfare at the same time that you're dealing with really real institution of them boys and all other kinds of things that are out
Hmm.
here attacking you to make sure that you can't say and speak anything that is truly, especially for men, masculine. So they
Yeah.
don't want men to be manly. So even just being a man in and of itself is like a bad boy and almost like being an outlaw just by having a masculine personality. Does that affect you?
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you can silence silence the person, like like whenever you can control what somebody says and control but even if they say it and it's not heard, that's a huge problem. It's silencing the person. It's taking away your tongue is the most powerful tool, right? So whenever you start to silence people, there's going to be a lot of things that happen in the background that are going to pretty much break down society.
And then like with society, right? One of the things that I think is very easy for you and me to notice, because I think that we live a very real life. And because of that, what we're really seeing in real time in the real world, not necessarily the celebrity world or the parody world, but in the real world, we're seeing people kind of isolate. So the men are isolating, the women are isolating. We live in a world where they want to be on the phone all the time and their computer all the time, inside on the AC all the time, and not linking up, especially in terms of matchmaking, right? In terms of having what you have, a family, bro. Do you know how many people wish that they, like, even when I was on the phone with the last brother, you have everything that this man is just dreaming of. This is like when I talked to him about his biggest goals are what you've already have. So if you
Wow.
if you think about that, man, a lot of brothers are lacking in what you're abundant in. And that is because this social isolation starts with, well, if I can't even talk, I don't even have the self-esteem or the confidence to go out there and be a fucking man or do anything that's right. That's a big part of demoralization. So then we were talking about like love, and I want to talk about love with you, right? Because like I was talking and I was saying, when I know that masculinity for me, 100%, all masculinity, the most masculine thing that a man can do is worship God, and everything that comes from after that is given out in love, and love multiplies so greatly and so abundantly. Love multiplies all these things. Like I guarantee you, you don't go up to your girl and say, you know what, girl, I had a chemical reaction in my brain that made me feel so good about you. You know what I mean? That shit never
Yeah.
happens. It's love is
Right.
something else. Love is bigger than that. Love is why you probably have this urge to take care of your children in a way you just didn't understand until it happened. It's bigger.
Right.
So, can you tell me how love amplifies your life?
So I mean, love amplifies my life in many ways. For example, every time I wake up and make a decision to do anything in the morning, I always think, okay, is this doing this? Is it going to benefit my family? Is it going to benefit the people who I care about, the people I love? Um, you know, if I have to make a decision to go left or right, in my daily decisions, I always have to think, is it going to benefit, you know, is it going to benefit or harm the people I care about? So, having my kids and everything, it definitely makes me think twice, about doing a lot of things where back in the day when I didn't have kids, it was just myself. I would just, make split decisions and I'm like, all right, go with the flow. Like, ah, fuck it. If it happens, it happens. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. If I get hurt, I get hurt. So where it's like now love is literally something you know, I consider with every decision I make. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I make all the right decisions all the time, but it's definitely something that it helps navigate me through the world for sure.
So it's a guiding factor in your life. That being said, right, someone that is setting a benchmark, do you see within your own local area a lack of love and understanding, or in this country do you see a lack of love in people?
Yeah, I definitely see there's a lack of love in society as a whole. I feel like a lot of times we lost that tribal aspect, right? Where we thought about the tribe, what was good for the tribe. I feel like we lost that a long time ago, and we pushing the more independent state. And I also think it's on purpose. I think the whole divide and conquer concept is in full effect right now. Dividing us up in so many different ways that we forgot that we're all one people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it's like the term "love your neighbor." That's like such a foreign concept to people now. A lot of people don't even know the people who live across the street from them. If you didn't see them for weeks at a time, you probably wouldn't even notice it. Where back in the day, you would always take care of your people next to you. Um, you wouldn't want to harm anybody because you're thinking like, I don't want to harm anybody. That whole concept, back in the day, and I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but back in the day, to hear somebody going crazy was like a rare thing, right? Like somebody
Yeah.
doing crazy stuff. Oh, this person shot up a school, or this person went on a rampage. This person, you know what I mean? Back in the day, that was so like rare. Now it's so normal to where it's like, oh, let's pull a phone out and go viral on it. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a whole, society is lacking. If we had more love and understanding for each other, I feel like a lot of that stuff will go out the window. I feel like people will be better towards people if we had more love in the world.
100%. Like, for example, I know you probably don't walk up to your son and start competing against him to be the better person, right? Now, we, in that same context, live in like a me generation or a I, me. It's all about me generation, right? So you, a considerate man who's out here thinking about your neighbors, thinking about your girl, thinking about your kid, thinking about other people with your tribal mentality, I equate it to this me, in terms of Christianity, that the word in Hebrew, religion, means repackaged lie, which the first religion ever was when the snake, the serpent, told Eve, you can be just like God. You can be like me. And that's what he did. He tried to go be like God, right? Me. It's all about me. And that infection just seems to be all too prevalent, spreading throughout the day. You can put it in a spiritual context, or you can put it from them boys, still very evil people, trying to go out here and mass manipulate everybody through psychological operations. Is that also what you see, or is there some semblance of what I'm saying that you see going on here?
Like spreading lies and spreading incorrect information. I see that all day. And it goes back to the whole divide and conquer type thing. Spreading false information or spreading like the whole think about yourself more. Think about yourself, because if we always thought about ourselves every day, if we thought about ourselves every day, made every decision based on what's going to benefit us, society, it wouldn't work, right? Because all the inventions that was ever made was always to help somebody else do something else, right? So the more we think about me, the more we start falling off, because we put our blinders on, right? Me. We're tunnel vision, and we're forgetting about everything else that's going on around us. We don't consider it. We don't think about it. We don't want it. We don't want to help better it. So yeah, whenever that, when you put your blinders on and only think about yourself all the time, that's always a destroying factor.
100%. And clearly, you and me are businessmen. So I'm going to go ahead and like speak in a way that probably, hopefully, other businessmen understand. I am out here. I'm a marketing guy, and I've always lived a very real life, right? I remember when celebrities were traditional celebrities, and when we were in here, I remember when people like go take pictures of themselves and put it on the internet and make themselves look like more fluffed up, right? And I never really got over that. I've always lived in real life. So like as I'm like talking to Icy and kind of figuring out what she's going through, and as I'm like speaking to people and I'm doing this marketing thing, I'm looking at it from their perspective. And I sent out this tweet yesterday where I was kind of frustrated, like, bro, everything I'm reading is like your best life. You're going to manifest. I am going to have a better life. I am going to spiritually manipulate the bullshit and get more money. And I'm going to be the best version of myself and Sigma male and me. And it's like, it's never ever like what Matchmaker is or how your life is. It's never like, what about the community or bringing in the whole, or like how you would be like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna meet up my homeboys. I don't care where and when. We're gonna meet up no matter what. Like, where is that? What happened to it? What the fuck are you gonna do with just yourself?
Right.
What's going on, Said? Like, help me, guide me through this, brother. What the fuck is? What do they want? What is the end goal of this?
Sorry, my headphones got disconnected. Yeah, no, I mean it's at the end of the day, that's just being pushed. I mean, nobody's being guided to think like that no more. Like I said, that whole tribal aspect is gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? The whole brotherhood thought process behind, taking care of your people. It's not an agenda being pushed in every aspect of media, music, um, music, movies, shows, all this stuff. It's teaching the younger generation, 'cause that's where it starts. If you notice the kids now, they always say, "Oh, the kids nowadays are like they're crazy," or they're not as strong, they're weak, they're bitches, we're raising bitches now. You know what I mean? It's because they're not being taught what it's supposed to be like, a brotherhood. When we jump on our Zoom calls with Castle Club and everything, you guys see my son running around in the background, because I like him being around me when I'm with my boys, because I want him to see that. There's no more movies that's promoting that stuff no more. You know what I mean? Like, there's no shows on TV that's like showing the kids like, yo, that's how it's supposed to be. And a lot of times the dads are gone. You know what I mean? And you know, so it's like there's not many examples of that anymore. And that's the biggest thing. As society, as humans, we're always going to follow something, right? Regardless of whatever it is. And if we're following something that's not, uh, that's if we're not following something that's going to be promoting that or showing the younger generation, hey, that's what you're supposed to be doing, then they're going to follow whatever they're watching or whatever they're seeing on a regular basis. They're going to think that's normal. That's turned into their normal. So that's essentially what's happening right now. Is that the whole independent mindset, the me mindset is like that's the new normal. You know what I mean?
Respecting your time and understanding where we are in the timeline of what you have in this conversation, I
Yeah,
need you to
I'm
really,
then and forgive me if I keep looking up. I'm trying to watch what they got going on over here.
you good, brother. I really need you to tell me what love is, what love does, and what are solutions to this problem we've been identifying.
Love is hard to explain, bro. I know you know that. Love
Let's
is hard to explain
go.
for many reasons, right? Because love can mean so many different things to so many different people. Um, I know for me, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't want to ever say that like, I'm the perfect man in a relationship. I don't want to say that I'm a perfect brother, none of that stuff. But I will say that love is an emotion that will literally control your life, right? And you can let it control your life for the better or control your life for the worst. And with us being able to maneuver through life with decisions on our own, we have to let our love guide us in the right places. Um, Love can be. I've never experienced love like I experienced it with my kids. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's literally been something that like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, all right, damn, I'm tired. Who gives a fuck? You got to take care of the kids. I don't want to go to work. Who gives a fuck? The kids got to eat. If I don't, if I just sit on the couch, what kind of example am I setting for my kids? You know, but yeah, man, I think love is beautiful. Love can be something that keeps you going or something that breaks you down. You know what I mean?
Damn
Love is all over, bro. Like that's a deep fucking question, dog. It's tough for me to answer that, dog. That's a tough question to ask. That's a very yeah, we'd have to fucking sit here and talk all day about that.
we will when you have more time. Right now
Yeah,
we're just
for
kind
sure.
of describing what is it, how does it motivate your life and guide your life in the way that you were describing, and then those solutions to help other people find this, maybe quell the love out of people and solve this me problem.
Yeah, I mean, the one way that it'll help people, it'll maybe help people find love. Is that what you're saying? Like help people find love, find it in
I
themselves?
definitely that find it in their loves, and like how you were able to, I believe that there's almost like a tether that you have to that child, bro, that champ. There's some invisible force you have to sucking him in. If you could describe that for the people that don't have that.
No, I mean, I just be a great example. You know, just always think they're watching because most of the time they are. For the kids. And if you're talking specifically for my kids, is that what you mean? I just
Well,
want to make sure I
that
answer the
that
question
yeah,
correctly.
that can, there's because it can go in any direction. Let's start with that and just kind of let it build.
Yeah, so I mean, for a long time personally in my life, when my son was younger, I wasn't around much because I work a lot. I'm one of those guys who will work all day, all night if I need to, if I can. Not necessarily for the financial benefit of myself, but just so that way, because I have naturally that provider mindset. I'll go out and get it if I need to go get it. Like if I need to tear walls down to go get what I need for the family, I'm gonna go do it. Right? You know what I mean?
With
So
a
when my
sledgehammer, baby.
yeah, man. If I need to, I'm gonna make it happen for my kids.
Hell yeah.
But when my son was younger, um, I worked a lot. And then, when he got to the age of kind of understanding, like, okay, daddy is usually around at this time of the day, this, that, and the third, I changed and I went into the car business. And anybody who's been in the car business, they know that the hours fucking suck. The hours you're always inside the dealership at all times of the day. And even on your days off, sometimes you got to go in on your days off. So, I would leave the house most of the time before my son wakes up and I come home when he's asleep. So for a long time, I wasn't really there. So he was missing that father aspect of me. So, he didn't even know who I was when he was super young. He didn't even know who I was. So I used that experience of like seeing how he reacted when I came home and stuff. And then after a while, I realized, okay, I understand I don't have much time, but when I'm with him, I have to make sure that I'm locked in with him, like he's with me. You know, Tate says it all the time. He's like, father doesn't always have to be home. His
Yeah, bro.
father
Don't
wasn't
feel
always
bad. I
home.
probably have kids that don't know me either, bro. It is what it is.
No, so I'm like, I'm like when I'm home, I got to make sure that he's with me as much as possible. Make the quality time, not necessarily quantity. I wanted to make more quality time, and then I think now at the age that he's at, you know, he's in that soaking up stage. You know what I mean? Soaking up so much information and like repeating things. If I say something, he repeats it. If I do something, he repeats it. And I do think I'm a good example of of a man for him because I wouldn't mind if he grows up and be just like me. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who always say, "Oh, I don't want my son to be like me." I'm not perfect, but I'm a man who has principles. I'm a man who has morals. I'm a man who has discipline. Um, so I wouldn't mind it if he becomes just like me. But of course, I want him to be better than me. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't mind if he becomes just like me.
I like that. I love him so much. I want him to be better than me.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's missing in a lot of situations. Like women compete against women, mothers compete against daughters, and there's just men that are so weak they're not even there. Again, switch it to your belief. But here, this book literally says what you teach them when they're young is what they revert to when they're older, no matter what bullshit they go in between, right? So if that bullshit is the school system, which like let's say that you're not in a situation where you're going to be able to homeschool the kid, which is what some people really want to do because of how fucked up it is, right? But for the times that you're not with your child, at some point you're just not going to be with your child, whether it be school, whether it be college, whether it be him moving into the other side of the world, maybe Japan or whatever he's got to do. This is the soaking up stage where when you give him the best of the fucking man that you are, the one that we all respect up in our brotherhood, the fucking Castle Club knows who the fuck said the man. This is the time where you give that to him, he's gonna be that too. That's
yeah.
magnificent. That's beyond love. That's these little moments of legacy, brother. Like insane.
Legacy. That's huge, bro. Like I always think that like legacy is big for me. My last name means a lot to me. You know what I mean? So I always think like I have to. My dad set a new. He took another step towards success with his lifetime. I have to take another step towards success in my lifetime. My son has to. You know what I'm saying? We have to keep passing the torch, but with every time we pass the torch, we have to make sure it's going further and further. That's the goal. It's something that I've seen with my own eyes. My parents, they sacrifice a lot to get me and my sisters, because my sisters have their own businesses too. You know, um, one of my sisters, she has a barbershop over here on 10th and Congress. She has her own barbershop. She has a few hairstylists in there, a couple barbers in there. And my other sister, she's also does teeth whitening, mobile teeth whitening down in Hollywood. So like my mom, she never had her own business. You know what I mean? Like, but she sacrificed a lot, and she always instilled in us, yo, you should always want more. You should always want more. You should always want more. So that kind of something that was engraved in my brain, and that's something I need to pass on to my son as well. You know what I'm saying? My son and my daughter. I have two kids.
That is fucking dope, brother. I was just about to ask you because like you have a whole bunch, you have like the ideal life in a lot of ways. You have like the real deal American dream in a lot of ways, brother. I'm not saying that you don't want more. I'm sure you want more. You got to go get it. You
Yeah,
got to go get it. Just the
yeah, I gotta
basics.
go get more,
Oh,
man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. Like I've came a long way, but man, like I have so much further to go, bro. Like I think it's just like that with everybody's life, right? Somebody else can always look at your life and be like, "Yo, you're having great," but it's like, "Yo, this shit's fucked up on sometimes." Some days some days the shit feel like it's falling apart, but other days it's like, all right, you grab that bitch by the reins and you go. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I always thanks to Fresh and Fit helped me, build and get better as a man, get better as an individual at the end of the day. So you know, I think uh I think as long as you're progressing every day, you're eventually gonna hit all your goals as long as you're not stagnant. Because if you're stagnant, you're moving backwards. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough when I hear people say like you have it, like I have it, because like I look at it, I'm like I have it, but I want more.
so does that
You know,
mean since you made two Cedrics, do you want to make more Cedrics?
oh, of course, I want way more kids. I want a lot more kids. I want like
Fuck
six
yeah.
more kids.
Fuck yeah.
I
That's
want
what
as
I'm
many
talking
kids as
about,
I could.
bro.
Yeah, I definitely want some more kids for sure. That's not even a doubt in my mind. but
Hell
I have to set the right foundation first, right?
yeah.
But let me ask you, I wanted to ask you a question as you brought up the school system. What are your thoughts on school, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, all right. So I've got 2 degrees, 50 certificates, right? I'll give you the real deal. Well, school to me, NASA is an institution that's set up to lie to you. I've come to that conclusion, right? These school systems are institutions set up to lie to you, brainwash you. If we go all the way back, because this is F&F type shit, bro, on Rumble, bro, all the way down to the Rothschilds. These institutions were meant to design to get you away from the family system, specifically to get you out of the family system, so the government can tell your kids what to do, so you get fucked out of what your kids are doing, and it's working very well right now. I know that institution is designed under the guise of deception. From the every brick that was laid, from every time that you ever went in there, every last bit of it is deceptive. So the reason that I went and I got these was to prove that I could get them, because like I went through some I had an accident when I was younger. I went through some traumas and shit. Blah blah blah. But now that I have these 2 degrees and 50 certificates, when I'm out there in the workforce and I'm out there in the work field, this isn't matching that, because when I go there, I'm overly valuable. And then when they sit down and they talk to me, even if I don't present that stuff, they kind of figure out this guy is at a level where we just don't want to fucking pay him at the level that he's going. We just don't want to fucking do that, because he is going to break into the 6 figures. And if he does that, we don't want to fucking pay him. There's a lot of jealousy involved, and I'm sure you deal with that shit too. Men that have like a certain stature have other men jealous of them all the fucking time, and it's so
Yeah.
subtle, and you have to pretend you don't see it. It's just so when it comes to the school system, the most fortunate thing that a man could do is have, like, for me, I need a marketing girlfriend or marketing girls. You know what I mean? My girls have to be marketing girlfriends for what I do. It would be the best if you could get your women to teach your children. If you can get that blessing, if they could do that for you, that would be the prime, most optimum, most beautiful thing. And if you can't, you got to just be smart about what you can do. You got to get involved with the school system that you have. You got to figure out if it's going to be a Montessori school or private school. You got to figure out like what is the play here, and like a motherfucking man, you got to oversee all of it. So it's another full-time job on top of a full-time job on top of a full-time
Right.
job.
It's funny you mentioned that because like you know, my son starts school and I don't have him in public school. Um, I think public school is horrible. I mean, with all the shit that you see going on, even the whole like, you know, LGBTQ, all that shit going into the public schools, I think is horrible. So I made sure not to put him in there. But so I sent him over to a different school, and we just had this open house the other day, and I'm like, yo, I want to come here, I want to volunteer, I want to be involved as much as possible, so that way I can kind of get an idea of what my kid's doing in school. And as a parent, bro, that shit's like nerve wracking because you're like, okay, my kids are gonna be gone for hours on hours on hours of the day for weeks and months and years. Like it's starting to where it's like they're gonna start getting indoctrinated. So I gotta, you know, I gotta be involved as much as possible so that way I can see, you know, kind of get a glimpse of what he's seeing in the school. And it's scary, bro, because the way the school systems are now, it's like, you know, the things that they're teaching them have nothing to do with what everyday life is. You know, like I don't remember most of the algebra, Pythagorean theorems and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, but they were like sticking that in our heads. And it's like, yeah, for some skills, for some careers, you may need most of those, you know, you know, the education, but they don't ever teach you nothing about real life in schools. And I
I
think once
remember
they
it. A
got,
squared plus B squared equals C squared.
yeah. When is the last
Fucking
time you used
useless,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when's the last time you used it?
Fucking never. But the math will pay your children the most. So if they have like an engineer brain, that's gonna make them the most money in life.
Yeah, and I think and what you know, one of the things that I think is big in school they need to put back in is more STEM. You know, they need to really hone down on STEM and not only hone on STEM, but you know, trade work. You know, I remember my mom used to tell me, oh, they used to have wood shop when she was in school. You know, auto mechanics in high school and shit. And I mean, I remember going to high school and none of that was there. Like, you didn't have any of that. You know,
This is what I'm hoping to do.
I think our generation is a generation that's starting to go on the decline. Like, I
Fucking
feel like
idiot,
there
bro.
was we're on our way over. Like, our generation is like on its way down. I'm talking about people that's in their 30s. Like, people were born in the 80s and 90s. Our generation, I think 90s. I think it's really the 90s, bro. Like, I'm a 90s baby. I really think it's starting to go on a decline from the 90s, bro. because like
100%.
that shit's bad. It's like kids that don't even know how to use like screwdrivers and drills, bro.
Or
My
open a
son,
can.
or open the can with a can opener, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, dog. It's crazy.
So like Tristan Tate, right? He had a solution to this. He says, you got to go walk around with a sword. So you keep that sword around you, right?
Oh
So when
yeah,
you go to
yeah,
the school
yeah.
system, let's say you got a sword, right? And then the teacher says to you, yeah, we were teaching your kid to chop his dick off today, and you hold up the sword like, what? What'd you say,
Yeah,
bitch? That's what
yeah.
you gotta be doing. You gotta walk around and make sure they keep. You have
I just,
you have to become the motherfucking principal of the school. You have to. That is the only way. If you're not gonna do it any other way, you have to fucking do that, or else they ain't standing no chance. The
I
teacher
think
needs
the
to be like,
people,
make sure I did what your daddy said today.
yeah. I think it's like the people, the school systems when they like, 'cause it's not the teachers' faults, right? The teachers just doing their job. I think teachers are way underpaid, but the school system is telling the teachers, hey, this is the curriculum you have to push, whether you agree with it or not. You know, if you don't agree with it, what's the choice? You have no job, right? And the way society is right now, you need a job. So it's not their fault. I think there's some teachers who take their job a little more serious. And I mean, I can rattle off a couple teachers that saved my life in school. Like, you know, they were there, help guiding me, you know, guiding me on a regular basis. If they seen I was starting to get in trouble, they're like, hey, come here, Sid, come here. You know, you're not supposed to be doing that. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? And then there's some teachers who really are just like, I'm just here for a paycheck. And then those teachers that are just there for a paycheck, they see the parents who are just like, oh, I see this is a daycare for my kids. You know, so I'm like really making a point to like, I don't want to be, and I think everybody should be like this. I don't want to just drop my kid off and be like, oh, here, like just take my kid for a couple hours, right? Like, I think parents need to be more involved and like try to be going to the schools to see what your kid's doing. You know, try to you know, put your kid in after school activities and things like that because uninvolved parents lead to degenerate children at the end of the day or misguided children at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I feel like those are the individuals that are being attacked. Those are the ones who are gonna have the most effect on that demoralization is gonna have the most effect on is because it starts off at the top. You know, they start with your fucking kids, then they go, you know, the parents just dropping their kids off leaves the children vulnerable mentally. It's deep, dog. I'm about to go into a fucking rabbit hole, bro.
Oh, I want to throw this piece of information at you, like this warning at you that I have come to find, right? When you and me were in school, we learned 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. But there is this new thing that they're doing since we've left the schools. It's called box multiplying. It's really bad, bro. It takes their brain and just fucking melts it into absolute stupidness. Like if you got to check on how your kids are doing their math and shit too, because the box
Box
multiplying is like,
multiplying?
yeah, it's bad, bro. If I could find a video on it on YouTube, I'll find it for you and send it to you. But the government made
Yeah.
this kids teach it that way, so they removed cursive. The kids can't write cursive. I found that out because I was doing some marketing, and I had cursive
What?
on. Yeah, that's a real thing. I was in FAU, right? I'm like, I'm at your age at this time. I'm an older student, and I'm in there with like 23 to 24-year olds, right? They were just like 5 years younger than me, whatever. They couldn't read the shirt. They couldn't read because they removed cursive out of the school system in Florida. So they had no idea what the
Wow.
fuck it said. Now, box multiplying happened just a little bit after that. Box multiplying is where they take the number and they put it in these different boxes and shit. And it would terrorize your fucking mind. If I show it to you, it's gonna make you mad. You're gonna punch that shit because it just doesn't make fucking sense. But it will turn your kids fucking retarded and gay. And I don't want that to happen to anybody.
Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy. Box multiplying. And then they're taking cursive out of the oh man, bro. Brother, these school systems, man. And they're think about it, bro. They're in charge of your children, bro. The children is
And
the next generation, bro.
the kids have the good, noble heart that's turned against them. That's
Yeah,
the
they're
most sad part.
sponges, bro. Oh my god, bro. That is horrible. Yeah, man. Yeah, being involved is huge, bro. I think if more people were involved and just like you said earlier, got out of the me mindset, I think society would be a complete 180.
It would be, because that means that, like, okay, so now we're talking about the solutions part. We're getting into like the solutions part that I was texting you in those bullet points. And it seems like you and me have a natural masculinity to just understand the solution. We understand and get involved. That's the only way. Start matchmaking, start getting in the community, start getting involved in the schools, start, like, do the fucking work. You cannot skip doing the real fucking work.
Yeah,
You really gotta change
putting
the
the work
world.
in. Putting the work in, dog, is fucking huge. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll put it like this. Like, no matter what religion you're in, God gave man dominion over the earth, and I really think that men are not using it. I need to know what you think men need to start doing to start changing the system for us to have the love, have the schools, have the children, have the rewards. What are the solutions?
Brotherhood, bro. We talk about it all the time in
Hey.
Council Club, dog. Brotherhood. Nobody is like, you can only accomplish so much by yourself, bro. Brotherhood, having somebody holding you accountable, getting second opinions, letting your ideas turn into fucking like reality. Brotherhood is huge. I think if when we fucking took over the world, we went to fucking travel and take over other colonies and shit. We did it with our brothers. We didn't fucking go with our wives. We didn't go with our sisters. We didn't go with our aunts. It was like, fuck it. Like, we're gonna look at each other, and whatever's up in front of us, we're gonna fucking kill it and take over. And that's what I think we lost that. We lost that a long time ago, bro. So yeah, brotherhood is probably gonna be the number one answer for that. I know once I started being around the right people, my life started changing for the better. It was a complete 180. That's another conversation for another time, man.
Hell yeah, brother. I know you on limited time. We got to get these brothers
Yeah,
off this
man.
laptop life ideology. They, instead of a brotherhood, they think they could just take a computer and dominate everything for me. And then
Yeah,
after I have $1
nah.
billion, I can finally buy a house and
Yeah.
have a girl.
Let
The
me show
fuck?
you how to make $65,000 in a day on my laptop while I'm in fucking Mexico. It's like, yo, stop. That shit's not true. Go do the work. Go put the work
The
in.
fuck?
Yeah, crazy, man.
Brother said, man, before I let you go, man, tell them what you're all about, where we could find you, what you got coming. Please end us off on a good note, all about what you got going on in the world, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna be continuing to make some content of course of like work and everything. I'm gonna think about getting back into vlogs as I step back out more and more. Right now is my season of work, so I'm grinding a lot right now. I'm in I got my head down, blinders on right now. This is grind time. But yeah, I'm gonna be making some more content. All my socials are the same. It's that_man_said. If you just type in ThatManSed, it'll pop up. Um, I want to continue helping out my brothers over in Castle Club. I want to continue building relationships, getting better every day, being a better father, being a better man. Stay in the gym, get my mental right, get my physical right. I just finished my 3-day fast, the 3-day watermelon fast. I was 6 pounds down in 3 days. Killed that shit. Follow Kali Muscle
Shout out
after his
Cali, right?
yeah, shout out Kali Muscle, man. On the Fresh
Hey,
and Fit podcast. Yeah, man. So that's what I got going on. Just trying to, keep it going.
brother said, I am looking forward and I cannot wait to get on another pod with you, my man.
Yeah, man. We'll make it happen, brother. Definitely when
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
in a different setting, sitting down, not in time limit, man, I can 100% focus on you. It'll happen, brother. We'll make it happen.
Hey, we got to introduce him to cigar time, man.
Oh, we can have a cigar night, bro. We can have a cigar night for sure. All right, my brother.
All right, but hey, man, I'm gonna let you out there. Have fun. Talk to you soon. A lot of blessings to you and your family. A lot of love, a lot of solutions. All right.
Appreciate that, brother. Later.
All right, my G. Next time.